Speaking of R8, I don't know if you guys saw that. Weird. How does that happen? Welcome back, Lexurious Fleet. Good morning. It's a beautiful morning here in Omaha, Nebraska. But today we're going to talk a little bit about Lexus and what they need to become the #1 luxury automaker in America once again. And they're still in the top 3 despite all of their massive holes in their product stack. And in today's video, we're going to talk about 6 different areas where Lexus can improve upon, mainly with their models. I'm not going to talk too much about technology or anything like that. And we're just going to enjoy a lovely walk together with baby Marigold at the same time. Okay, so the first area of opportunity for them to get back is they need a halo product. And we haven't had the LFA since 2012, December 2012. That was the last time we had a flagship, I should say, halo product. Flagship is a different thing altogether, which we'll talk about in a little bit as well. But a halo product, we see that in Audi with the R8, we see it in Acura with the NSX. And the theory of a halo product is to generate a lot of excitement about the brand. And that is something where Lexus is really struggling with right now. There's hardly any excitement in the brand. We have really no knowledge of any exciting products coming at all. Like, of course, we have the upcoming NX, but we're still a year away. And we don't, the IS just got refreshed for the 15th time, so not a whole lot of excitement. And this halo product, in theory, brings a lot of research and development down to the everyman's buying level, okay? So, when they built the LFA, they built that carbon fiber loom, which they're able to put on their F cars. And that's going to segment into the next piece, because yes, I could talk about a potential LFA successor all day, but really what we need to talk about, I'm going to cross the street here, what we need to talk about as well is the F cars. We don't have any F cars. The GSF is dead. The ISF has been missing since 2014, and the RCF is an awesome car, but it's kind of a joke compared to its competitors. It's heavy, although it's heavy, and still I think it looks good. It just doesn't have the same performance as other competitors in the segment. And yes, it's going to last forever. I don't need to sell the RCF right now, but that doesn't change the fact that they need to have a more competitive F lineup. One product right now in the F lineup is a joke. Absolute joke. You look at Mercedes, they AMG every freaking car they can, and Lexus, it's like an afterthought with all their models. So another area where they could have another product, and I saw this a ton as a sales pro. Oh, Goldie, sorry Golds. I saw this as a salesperson, as Lexus didn't have a model large enough for big families. Infiniti has a QX80. We lost a lot of sales to that car because it was cheaper than the LX and it had more room. The LX is a great car, it's a great truck, but it's not big enough for a lot of large families' needs. So the theory is that Lexus is going to have a LX 600. Well, it's not a theory, it's going to happen. And supposedly it's supposed to be bigger than the current LX, and it's going to be departuring a little bit more from the Land Cruiser. It's not going to share quite as much. It's going to have the TNGA-F platform, but they absolutely need like a Lincoln Navigator, Cadillac ESV, the really long version. They need to have that because they're losing tons of sales unnecessarily. And the fact that in order for you to have more than 7 passengers in a Lexus, you have to jump up from about a 60,000. Speaking of R8, I don't know if you guys saw that. Weird. How does that happen? How does that happen, guys? What did I just see? I'm talking about Lexus and they need a halo product, and an R8 just drives right by. What the frick? You can't make that stuff up. Anyway, so they need a large people person vehicle. It's just not acceptable for them at this point to not have anything that's less than $100,000 that can move 8 people. They should have remedied this a long time ago, and here we are. LX 570. Oh gosh, how long is it? 2007 we've had the LX. It's been forever since we've had the LX 570. We need something bigger to support more families at a more affordable price point. Whether it's an LX or not, I don't care. They just need to have something there. Another area Lexus needs to step up their game is sports sedan. With the cancellation of the GS, all we have now is the ES in the mid-size area. And there's a dog staring me down up there. Okay, his owner's there, And with no GS, an all-wheel drive ES with a 4-cylinder, 200 horsepower is a complete joke. I can't get my head around that. It is unsatisfactory for a luxury brand to have a front-wheel drive based 200 horsepower naturally aspirated 4-cylinder set to satisfy their mid-size sedan needs. Meanwhile, you see newcomers like Genesis, you know, throwing out G70s, G80s with rear-wheel drive bias, all-wheel drive as well. Great performance sedans, performance luxury sedans, I should say. And then with Acura's super handling all-wheel drive TLX we have coming out, it's just a head scratcher. Lexus doesn't have anything in that segment. And I know it's not a big seller, but the fact that they're vacant there, it's just not acceptable for a luxury brand. And they had the GS since '93, and they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna cancel it, you know, 27 years later. So yeah, it's too bad. They need to figure out something there, and I don't know if or when that'll ever happen, because it looks like they would rather go fuel cell with the Toyota Mirai than bring us a new GS. And I have talked a little bit about Flagship, more so Halo product, but Flagship is where they need to improve upon as well. The Audi Q8 is a beautiful, large crossover SUV, and Lexus doesn't have anything to compete with it in that price segment, let alone, you know, the Porsche Cayennes with the twin turbo V8s and things like that. They have nothing. They're completely silent. They need to bring the LF1. I'm getting a little winded here, guys, so I'm gonna hang out by this tree. They need to have the LF1 limitless concept come into production. Some people are saying it's called the LQ, but we'll have to see. They need it. It's a beautiful design if they're able to keep it close to the concept, and they'd be able to electrify it, fully electrify it, or do a plug-in hybrid, or do the rumored twin turbo V8, which who knows if it's still in development or not. But it would be amazing if that engine still was, and if it debuted in the LQ flagship crossover SUV. They need to have it. And I think I'm to my last point. I think I'm to point number 6, which is electrification. The UX 300e is not what most people would envision Lexus would have came out with their first electric car. It is their entry-level vehicle, stripped out of its internal combustion engine, and they threw in a big battery pack and a 200 horsepower motor. Now, I think that's a sign of things to come, at least in the near future for Lexus. They're going to have very conservative electric cars, but they need to have one. And that's a point that I'm trying to make, is they don't have one. Europe, Japan, parts of Asia, you guys get the UX 300e, but that car is so expensive for what you're getting. And if you want an electric car, there's other ways to go. I personally would rather have a UX hybrid rather than the front wheel drive UX 300e fully electric car. And they did recently trademark the RZ 450e, I think that's what it is. And that's, my guess is that is more of a mid-size crossover SUV, fully electric. Who knows what range would be? Maybe 450 stands for the miles of range. That would be pretty cool. Maybe it stands for about 450 horsepower. I'm just not quite sure what we're gonna see from it, but it's almost guaranteed that we're gonna see a crossover SUV for the first electric. But you know, rumors are 2023 would be the first time we see it. That is a long time from now. And who knows how long it's gonna take for them to electrify more and more models, or have more electrified models. But I think their approach is going to be, if you want high performance, you don't get electric for their brand. I think that's going to be a good performing car, but if you want performance, you're gonna have to either go plug-in hybrid or twin turbo of some degree, whether that's the V8 or the, if they come out with it, or the twin turbo V6. So yeah, I think I hit on just about everything Lexus needs to do to become the best-selling brand again. A Halo product, they need to have a flagship crossover, they need to have a competitive sports sedan, a replacement or a successor to the GS. They need to have a large family SUV that is less than $100,000. They need to have a capable electric car, ideally a capable electric lineup. And what was the last one? Oh yeah, the return of the F lineup. And I don't know how long Goldie's been blinded there, but she wasn't upset or anything. She was just chilling. I'll definitely see you guys in the comments. If you like the video, definitely press the like button. If you enjoy my content, definitely subscribe. I got a lot of exciting things coming down the hatch. Reviews, live streams, breaking news. You guys know. The Lexurious Fleet knows what's up. So I'll catch you guys in the next video. Goldie signing off from Omaha, Nebraska. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourselves. I love you. Peace out.